Hello there and welcome to our final step here in my Paragon tutorial series. I am Sylphin. We are getting into our first human match of Paragon, and there's a lot of things we still need to cover. The draft screen, how do you pick a team composition, what strategies are involved, what are some more mechanical things behind Paragon we haven't explained yet, what are those big map objectives we haven't talked about, how do we communicate with our friendly team, and most importantly, what is a good learning mindset that you need to become a better player. So once again, ladies and gentlemen, go into your play tab and this time select co-op versus AI. You will get into a lobby, and in this case, it happened very quickly. There is something you really need to know in the draft lobby, and that is the positions. Down here, you will see that there is an any lane option. That means that you have no preference for what lane you are going in. There is the off lane, and as you can see, certain heroes will come up that say which lane you want to, which heroes suit that lane, and I would highly use the suggested heroes here to pick which heroes you want in those lanes. There's the mid lane, there's the jungle, there's the support lane role, and there is the carry role. In a team comp, it's very important that you pick heroes that you want. For us, there is no mid laner in this game, so I'm going to select the mid lane and select Gideon. We just made that wonderful deck for Gideon, and I am going to use that here in this game as we have no mid laner, and we're going to play Gideon. Now, if you are the offlaner or the support, you need to take into consideration what kind of heroes are on your team. You need to think not only in roles, but also in a team fight and a team composition. You need a tank, you need a frontliner, you need a caster like the Gideon, you need a support hero, and you need a carry. Now, that is a general role for the 5 positions in a team here in a MOBA that can differ. You definitely need a carry, you need a support, and you need a caster, and then you can either have an assassin with a tank or two fighters. It depends. It's really important that you have 2 or 3 melee heroes and 2 or 3 ranged heroes. You don't want all melee and you don't want all ranged. You have to pay attention to that and try to accommodate that as much as possible. Again, once in deck, we're going to go with the deck that we made, Gideon Caster. Really happy we get to show that for you today. Again, we're going to go here for auto shield, gem, and slot 1 so we can get advanced evolution. I'm actually going to wait, and I'm going to get Rejuvenator with 300 gold here so that we can stay in lane and farm even more. Now, again, it is so very important for you to last hit these minions, hit them in their red execute state. To summarize from the draft lobby, use those position roles down in the bottom of your screen to help with hero suggestions, to help with selecting a hero for a particular role. It will take time for you to get familiarized with the heroes and what roles they are good in, and it will simply take time, and that is okay. Essentially, make sure that you have enough melee heroes, make sure that you have enough tanky heroes, and that everything is kind of taken care of. I would highly suggest that you learn to become a flexible player, that you learn to become a flexible, a flexible individual that can play any role and any hero. Yes, it does slow down, relatively speaking, you learning a specific role or a specific hero, but in the end, it makes you a very well-rounded and relevant player. You can more often fulfill a particular role that will lead to more success more often. Now, one thing you may or may not have noticed in your time here trying out the Paragon is that there are actually penalties for moving in different ways. If you are moving forward, just using your W key here to move forward, you are moving at maximum speed. However, if you are strafing left to right, you actually take a small movement speed penalty. It basically, if you want to move at full speed here, you need to be running forward. If you are trying to escape an enemy hero or chase a enemy hero, you absolutely need to be running forward. You have to pay attention to that, especially as a melee hero or against a melee hero. It's very important for you to always be running with the least amount of penalty. Now, something else you absolutely need to, again, study and really get used to is the ping system. The way that you can communicate with your allied team. And on the computer, that is the C key. And as you can see, it brings up a whole bunch of options that you can use to communicate with your friendly team. It is really quite good, and once you get used to it, it can really provide you a lot of ways to communicate very effectively. Once you press the C key, it's actually fairly intuitive. Up is attack. Up the lane, up the map is attack. From there, in the middle is the mid lane, left is left, and right is right lane. That makes a lot of sense. What also happens in the attack is on the bottom is camps. All of the camps in the game here are there. In the upper one is in the river camp, which is in the middle, which makes sense for it to be up. On the right side of the map is your gold camp by your right lane, which makes sense for it to be there. Now, then the others are Ore Prime and Fangtooth, which are objectives we will talk about in upcoming. Basically, it's really important for you to be aware of how to communicate, because being fast with it and accurate is very, very important. Next is the defend, and again, this makes sense. Mid lane is on the bottom, left on the left, and right lane on the right makes sense there. Then you have careful in above that there. You can have careful in the mid lane, which is up, left, right, and jungle. That one's very good because you can use that in conjunction with a lot of other things, such as enemies are missing, which we will get to. It's really important for you to go through this yourself and learn, as, again, I want to emphasize, communication is everything. Next, we have alert on the right, and there's really no intuition there, other than it's just on the right. There's really nothing there. Enemies missing is on the top because enemies are to the front. The enemy base is forward. But there and then from there you can say mid, left, and right, or they are stealthed. if they have, if you notice that they got the purple buff in the river, which is also obviously very important to communicate with your allies. Then there is retreat, which is very simple. Right in the communication, just right, which is retreat, which is something you will definitely use quite a bit. Then there is help, which is help left, mid, right, and or just need help in general if it's kind of obvious as to what you are trying to do. That is all of the alerts besides on my way. So the alert one is when you really use all the time to let your team know kind of what's going on, what you are doing, what enemies are doing, etc., etc. Then you have notify, and it's all complicated, and there's a lot going on with all of them. So it's really important. Again, I want to emphasize that you need to know everything. Then there is talk, which is okay, no more, good job, sorry, good game, cancel that, thanks. That's a very complicated one that I myself have to look at all the time, as I usually don't end up using a lot of those myself. Then you have tactics such as group up, follow me, don't chase, ultimate ready. Ultimate ready is one that you will use a lot. And then there's be right back, which is just simple left and left. After that, that's really all that there is. You need to pay attention to that and just kind of know what exactly you want to say, and then it becomes muscle memory. It becomes muscle memory, as I can say on my way here, and boom, there's the kill. You need to get used to the ping system. Finally, we get to talk about the big map objectives. This guy right here is Fangtooth, and he is a white circle on the map, right in the middle of the map by the river. It's really important to be aware of when you are taking Fangtooth, as it's a pretty dangerous area right here. A lot of AoE ultimates and AoE abilities can be used here, and an engagement over Fangtooth can go pretty sour pretty quick. What does Fangtooth do? In the top left, you'll see a little raptor icon with a 0 behind it, and that is a counter for how many times you have taken Fangtooth. Essentially, Fangtooth gives you power when you kill him, like it just said, and gold for the first time that you kill him. After that, Fangtooth gives you more power, but only gives you increased movement speed on the second kill, and then increased non-hero damage on the third kill. After that, he just continuously gives you increased power, and obviously that has a big effect on the game. Fangtooth is very important to get, as obviously that can give you a snowball effect to win the game. Only get big map objectives when a lot of the enemy team are dead. It's really important that you know that. The other big map objective is Orb Prime, and that is this guy right here. He is somebody that you can't really take by yourself unless you are very specifically built to take him down, or basically you are Chimera, because he deals a lot of damage. And we can actually test that out here right now. He essentially shoots these things, and they will all come and attack me, and as you can see, deals a tremendous amount of damage. Essentially, I can't stay here unless I want to die, so I have to go out, and I may actually die. So what does Orb Prime do? Essentially, whichever team gets the last hit on Fangtooth, or on Fangtooth or Orb Prime, you get a huge buff, and I mean a huge buff. This buff grants you additional damage, a ton of additional damage, and a ton of increased regeneration. health regeneration, mana regeneration, and any nearby allied minions are empowered. They deal additional damage, they grant additional health, and are basically empowered. As you can see, they're glowing purple. This means that they are increased in their effectiveness. Orb Prime is a siege tool. With that health regeneration and mana regeneration, you can essentially here, I can use all of my abilities basically non-stop because that mana regeneration is so significant. The health and mana regeneration are only taken away from you when you have taken damage by an enemy hero for a short period of time. That's about it. It is a siege tool meant to push the enemy back into their base and get inhibitors and maybe the core. It is a huge moment when you take an Orb Prime, and again, you need to make sure that a lot of enemy heroes are dead in order to take it safely. As this is the last game that I suggest you do before you go into PvP, if you so like, I highly implore you to use the communication system, whatever it is. Defend mid lane, for example. Defend this left lane from this gadget and sparrow pushing. Use your communication system all the time. Communication has never hurt anybody before. It only helps your team. A good sign of a effective team is good communication. Use it and try to just outwit your enemy team. One of the last things I'm going to tell you guys is about your mindset. Remember, you are playing with other human beings. We are all trying to play this video game. We're all trying to have fun. We're all trying our best, and sometimes we may have a bad day. Keep that in mind. Keep positive and optimistic, as that is what playing with people, having a good community is all about. It's really important that you have a positive and kind mindset. Also, go and check out my video on the mastery style of learning, or what's called mastery learning. It's a way of learning that focuses on getting better, and not necessarily on any sort of arbitrary standards. Like, you know, you don't care what rank you are, you don't care what you can or can't do. It's simply just you focus every single day on getting better, and that's it. Learn one thing at a time, focus on one thing at a time, just try to get better. And that's all that anybody can expect from you, and that's all what you should really expect from yourself, as you will slowly, eventually get better and better, and you will learn and become a better player and a better human being as well. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this tutorial series. There is more to deal with Paragon on the home screen with the chests and crates. All of that stuff you guys can learn. Essentially, you guys get crates from card packs and chests from playing games, from winning games, and that's really kind of what it's all about. This here, it shows you how much gold, the final screen, all the cards that people used, and it's just a summary of your game. You can see builds here, what certain people do, and kind of just get a summary of what happens. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this tutorial series, and I hope that it has helped you in some form or another. If you have any questions at any point, please leave them down in the comments below, as I would be more than happy to answer them for you to the best that I can. Till next time, like always, guys, stay optimistic and positive.